The following podcast is a production focused on storytelling, exploring new TTRPG systems and their supplements. This podcast is not sponsored by any of the systems or their owners and is meant to be a fun, interactive book club. Respective credits for songs, sound effects, and resources are listed within the description or details. And with that, please enjoy, adventurer. Welcome to the Tables and Fables podcast, the interactive TTRPG book club where we pick up new mechanics, bumble through systems, and ultimately tell fun stories together. I am your DM, GM, and salted caramel mocha addict, Tim. Joining me are my two co-hosts. Please introduce yourselves.
Hey, my name is Collin over here.
And this is Amanda.
All right, so this is in some way a third part of a continuation of the world we were building in Amalgamation in the Quiet Year. However, this is going to be a proper session 0. If you haven't listened to the previous arcs of Amalgamation in the Quiet Year, I'd highly recommend it. We did have a lot of fun coming up with some interesting landmarks and some other interesting things that we have. You're scrunching your face over there. Do you have something to share?
No, don't worry about it. Just, you know what? Tune in. Listen to it, because it's a riot.
Okay. But as I said before, we're playing Blades in the Dark, which is a tabletop role-playing game designed by John Harper and published by Evil Hat Productions. Uses the Forged in the Dark system, which is a system using dice pools, clocks, and other methods. And it takes place in a Victorian London Gothic fantasy setting. It's inspired heavily by things like Dishonored, Peaky Blinders, Bloodborne, Gangs of New York, and a lot more. And it predominantly takes place in a fictional city of Doskvol, which is a creation of John Harper. There's a lot of lore with Doskvol and with Blades in the Dark that he has designed. It is beefy. It is thick with 7 Cs. I would definitely recommend people look at it at some point because apparently it has enough lore and enough interest that it is going to be turned into a TV show at some point. Which I thought, well, good for you, John Harper.
Mm-hmm.
But we will not be playing in Doskvol. As great as it is, we're wanting to continue this theme of building up lore locations of our own. So we're going to be playing in what is known as the northernmost country of the world we made an amalgamation called Malavia in the city of Saltvein. So we're going to take some inspiration from the vibe presented by Blades in the Dark, but going in some different directions where appropriate. And apologies as a preface here, again, further preface. This is a new system. I've been reading and rereading, watching videos, but as I say at the beginning of every episode, we're going to bumble through it potentially, or talk through it at times, especially because it's a new system. And that's fine, because, we're all learning a new system. We may make mistakes here and there, but ultimately we're here to have a good time and tell fun stories together. So I ask for patience from you, listener, and patience from you, players. There's 2 ways that we're going to be starting this here. So they recommend in the book that there's 3 steps to start for your first session, which is you create the crew, create the Scoundrel, and then you immediately start playing. I am not game to start into it right now because we set a good bedrock for the world and a lot of the stuff that's going to be happening, but we don't need to go into playing right away. But we can at least talk, answer questions, just kind of have a dialogue between all 3 of us here of what we're going to be going into. So very first is going to be, really quickly, do you guys have the reference document that I linked in the chat?
Yes.
It's been a while. Where was that at?
So it should be in the Blades in the Dark channel, and it should be pinned at the top.
Ah, there it is.
Yes. So that's kind of like a cheat sheet. It has all the various actions you can take. It explains certain things. It explains character creation, the various playbooks, and other fun little reference materials, which we will be using predominantly. And it's great that this is just offered for free. This is just up. You can just do this with Blades in the Dark. They just have it available for free. So the first thing we're going to be doing is really quickly, I guess, talking about crew creation. One thing, again, I don't think I've made clear is that Blades in the Dark is a criminal building enterprise role-playing game. So similar as the great Zangief has once said, you are bad guys, but you are not necessarily bad guy. So you can be villains in that you want to kill and murder. There are certainly crews and gangs for that, but I would like to just say that this is up to you. This is up to you guys of what kind of crew you would want to be playing as. There's a variety of options that are available to you for crew creation. So we've got, looks like we've got 6 different types of crews. We've got assassins, which are killers for hire, bravos, which are mercenaries and thugs, a cult, which are acolytes of a forgotten god, hawkers, which are vice dealers, shadows, which are thieves and spies, and smugglers, which are contraband transporters. Now, this is really up to you guys. Of what kind of crew would you want to be playing in? What would you kind of criminal enterprise would you like to be endeavoring upon?
See, I was so excited when I was looking over the specific person you could make. The crews I did not dive in as deep. I'm intrigued by the idea of smugglers just because of being on a port city, all the shenanigans we could get up to being smugglers. And also
Okay.
shadows also intrigued me, being the sneaky thieves. But I don't know. What do you think, Colin?
Well, are we both destined to be coming from the same crew?
That's the thing, is that this is your crew, yes. So it's not like you're coming from whatever your backstory is. Obviously, we'll be going into that here in a little bit as well when you get to Scoundrels. But for crew, you're basically, you are creating your crew. This is how you're known in the underworld. It also helps determine what kind of scores you're going to go on. Really, it's just what kind of crew would you guys like to play as. So don't worry so much about story elements. Just kind of go into what kind of jobs do you want to do mostly? That's not to say as an assassin you can't do heists every so often, but kind of jobs do you predominantly guys want? If you need further descriptions, just let me know.
All right. What was tickling your fancy, Amanda?
Honestly, I could see a lot of fun. It's hard to not think of this in a narrative way because I've heard so much about how the system is narratively driven. So it's like, I can't think about the stories, just have to think about just the
Yeah,
basics.
and if you guys need some context, kind of again of what Saltvein is for the most part, I've got some additional notes if you need some brief reminders or even maybe some additional context of the region if you need some more information.
That wouldn't hurt a refresher.
Right.
It's been a time since we've been back there.
Certainly. So Malavia is led by Baroness Helena Hildegard. She is a elf vampire, the first of her name, known as Helena the Hungered. Malavia is predominantly an aristocracy. It is cutthroat and operates off of family names, titles, and statuses. The thing that I also just want to preface to is that just because I had this fun idea is that Helena is basically. You ever seen Blade?
I know of it. I have not seen it.
So
You haven't seen
that's something that you're gonna have to. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
that's on the list.
Yep.
But there is a particular vampire called Pinky. Helena is basically Pinky, so she
Ooh,
big.
interesting.
So she has been turned into a vampire many years ago. It's also believed that the curse of her vampiric powers was purposely spread through Malavia to have her influence and guile spread further and further. And Saltvein, which is the port city that we designed in the Quiet Year, in this northern part, is off the coast, the northwest coast, and it is currently led by provisional governors. Because what happened is that in the Quiet Year, we established that there were a bunch of nobles that were trying to establish their own type of city-state, and Helena wasn't having any of that. So she came in, swooped in, installed some governors of her own and a provisional government, and is now basically just using it as a place for export, trade, and a gosh, what is the word? Something ground. It's basically where, because they are currently at war with a civilization across the sea, which I have called the Goldwater.
Ooh, okay.
Just calling it Goldwater. So across the Goldwater, they're at war with another nation. So they're using Saltvein as another port city to kind of build up a military force. Vampires are not uncommon in Malavia. Their prominent powers are the vampiric court of nobles, but there are also mortal governors. And as I said before, Saltvein was an attempt by mortal governors a few hundred years ago to establish an independent city-state. She saw the value, went in there, said none of that. And basically now it's a city that's run by vampiric court and mortal court. It's kind of a dual court system. Vampiric court is definitely a little bit higher, but there's still some mortal governors that are having station of power there. I'm not sure how much of good information that was,
No, that's
but
great.
just some establishment stuff. So, anything else, maybe?
Well,
The
are we working for Helena?
You are not. Think of it like this: you basically said what I said to you last year when I said, "Let's start a podcast." Is that you? You guys have said, "Let's start a crew. Let's start a gang." You are building up your criminal enterprise, basically.
I think war is great for business, especially if you're smuggling on the seas or just throughout the city. Because war means rationing, war means basically holding up of certain goods that would be quite valuable to the right person. For me personally, I vote smugglers or potentially the shadows.
It seems like smuggling would definitely be highly lucrative during a time like this. Honestly, that's actually a really good choice.
And there's lots of different people that could be mad at us or potentially foes in this case because it could be the aristocracy, we could be dealing with port authority, we could even be dealing with opposing armies or smugglers. I mean, there's just a veritable smorgasbord of things we could be dealing with.
Right. I like that choice as well.
Nice. I dig it. Some smugglers. All right. Dirty smugglers. So with that, your crew begins with 2 coin in the coffers. You're at tier 0 with a stronghold and a 0 rep. That's a lot of words and numbers, but essentially I can play some context for it. Coin is a general concept of money. So in this game in Blades in the Dark, you're not actually tracking money by I've got 15 copper or I have 10 gold. Coin is more of a representation of the amount of wealth you, the player has, and you, the crew, or the crew has as well. So coin is like, so for instance, 2 coin is representative of like several full purses. 4 coin is a strong box. 6 coin, decent loot. 8 coin, serious loot. And 10 plus coin, impressive loot. It's basically just, it tells you kind of more of a general concept for wealth rather than specific. It's still an expendable resource, but it's not like you have to worry about, do you have enough money to buy a sandwich? You've got money. If you've got coin, you've got enough money to buy a sandwich. That kind of stuff. Tier 0 is your kind of your ranking of like how powerful your guild is, or your crew rather, and then 0 rep is kind of your representation for other individuals, how other groups in the city perceive your crew. So you've just formed your crew, and that means you have a few choices available to you when you form a crew. I am going to quickly see if, since we've done smugglers, if everyone would want to go to the smuggler section of that little cheat sheet. There are a few things that you have to do when you're creating your crew. Is you choose your reputation. So you can either choose one from the list on page 93 or make your own, which on 93 there is several things here. You have ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange. So basically, this is how everyone else in the city perceives your crew. Like, they're pretty ambitious group of people, or they're very honorable, or, kind of strange. So how would you like others to perceive your crew?
I can't get down that far. It's only 32 pages for me.
Yeah, you don't have page.
Oh.
Sorry, I was reading aloud my own notes for where it's
like, why
located
can't
in
I
the
scroll?
book that I've got in front of me. So page 93 is for the reference, but as far as if you need that list again of how you're perceived.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Sorry. Ambitious, brutal, daring, honorable, professional, savvy, subtle, or strange.
Not brutal.
No. I'm almost kind of leaning strange. Potentially.
Speak on that.
Speak on it. I think it kind of leaves us open because this place is strange. We talked a lot about the strange fauna and effects that the area has, the whispering stones, the caves that turn people's hair white. There's a lot of really cool, maybe not supernatural, but magical things in this universe, and I think it would lend to some interesting change, but I guess I'm kind of with you. Brutality doesn't seem necessarily what I envisioned for a smuggler group. So my thought was either to be subtle or strange.
Yeah, so another thing to consider as well is that so there are XP triggers similar to when we played Skate Wizards, where if you do certain actions based off of your crew and or your scoundrel, that rewards your crew and scoundrel with XP, which helps to level up both yourself and your crew. So in a sense, the crew is a secondary character that everyone is basically helping to build. You're basically acquiring upgrades. You're getting XP to get further resources and other things. So by determining your reputation, that also gives you a idea of kind of also other types of jobs that you want to maybe do as well.
By choosing a reputation or how we're perceived, does that lock us into particular, what's the word I'm looking for? Like advancement trees through XP? Does that change how we reach milestones then?
So let's quickly look at smugglers. So there's a lot on here, and I know it's all confusing at the moment. We will steadily get better at deciphering this here that we have in front of us. But no, if we can see here that it says the top right, it says the crew sheet reputation. It doesn't really lock you into that particular one, it looks like. If you look under where it says crew XP, at the end of each session, for each item below, mark 1 XP, or instead mark 2 XP if that item occurred multiple times. So you can see here, execute a successful smuggling, or contend with challenges above your current station. So if you look at those, that kind of contextualizes that how you're perceived isn't exactly a thing that's a metric that you have to track. It's more, it might help to kind of give further context to your jobs and further context of who you as a crew are.
Fair enough.
I like strange. Then I'll go. Well, we can go with that.
Okay.
Okay.
Now that you've done that, you have now the ability to pick a layer. You can choose where your crew currently goes back to after every job, or where they go to hide, or just chill. So there's a few here that are listed. Looks like there's 6. However, you all can also just come up with a particular layer of your own. But this gives you a general idea of what to work with because you're at tier 0. So it's not like you can say, we live in a mansion. Like, no, you don't start with a mansion.
The smuggler mansion.
Dang it.
Yes. Those well-known smugglers. So let me just give you a general list here, and then you can pick from this list, or you can go ahead and decide of what type of layer you guys would like to work together to create. So we have here a half-sunken grotto in the city's maze-like underground canals, an abandoned watchtower atop an ancient crumbling wall, the unassuming back rooms of a merchant's shop, a small abandoned house at the end of a dark lane, a rickety tin-roofed shack, a rickety tin-roofed shack perched on a rooftop, and a junked rail car rusted in place on its old, overgrown tracks.
Yeah, that very first one. That one sounded.
Canals.
The one the grotto.
Yeah, it was either that or the storeroom. Those two kind of spoke to me, I think.
I'm trying to. Not that I'm going to try to find the through line to strange in everything I think of now, but I could just see like we're near more like outcroppings of rocks and crystals, similar to that of which the whispering crystals were found of, or if we've got some sort of, if it's a storefront, maybe it's some sort of occult shop.
If you need further context, because the second part of this, when you are choosing a layer, is to choose what district is going to be in. So I've got some districts for you here to pick from, with a sort of general description of each one. So these are districts in that of Saltvein. So we have Wound Trees, which is a production laborer district. Shellview, which is docks, taverns, fighting pits, and warehouses. Dimborough, which is kind of residences and general markets. Gold Spear, which is kind of a high-end neighborhood with high-end estates. Geode Grotto, which is far to the north, which it does in trade and export. The Veins, which are shops, offices, and artisans. And Cornucopia, which is a crammed neighborhood full of crime. I know I'm giving you lots of choices here, but so please take your time. If you have any further questions, just ask.
In Shellview, what was you said?
I
Docks.
was yeah.
Shellview, docks, taverns, fighting pits, and warehouses. Named as such because they're the docks, so you can see the giant egg off in the distance.
I like Shellview personally. That one, I was like, ooh. I put a star next to it as I was writing them down.
Yeah, I like it. Let's go with Shellview.
Shellview. All right,
And
go ahead.
if we're going with Shellview, do we want to be like in the back room of someone's tavern, the back room of set up just beyond where someone buys their tickets to the fighting pits, where our lair would be?
Oh. One more time, what is in Shellview?
Excuse me, that's docks, fighting pits, taverns, warehouses.
I'm imagining almost the basement of a tavern. Because I think about older taverns sometimes had a network of tunnels beneath that would connect to storerooms and cold places to store barrels and whatnot. I could see something like that. Beneath a tavern, you'd be able to hear lots of things about possible leads. You'd be relatively unnoticed going in and out. But I defer to you on this one.
Yeah, I like that idea as well. I think that sounds good.
Okay, so your lair is going to be in the back room of a tavern in Shellview.
Back room or basement?
You?
This is that's the thing. I can't really say right now because this is your guys' field at the moment. I can't tell you what, like, if you want to crew a certain way, like, you gotta, yeah.
Well, Colin, what do you think? Like when I think of tavern, my mind immediately jumps to like Skyrim Tavern, and there's usually stairs behind the bar that take you down beneath to big wine, like mead barrels. But
yeah, it makes sense. I like it because there's going to be a lot of foot traffic. There's not going to be, there's not really going to be anybody asking too many questions if somebody sees somebody carrying something down the stairs. It's just like, oh, that's going to storage. I like it. Let's go with basement within the tavern.
Basement. Okay. So because you guys have picked a tavern, I knew we would get to some of sections like this because there are a few instances where in the book they actually tell you you're picking things like your crime contact or, a person that knows your crew. And there are some preset names and individuals like NPCs that exist in Doskvol, but we're going to be kind of cheating a little bit by using, of course, our favorite, the Game Master's Book of Random Encounters and Random Tables to roll up names of certain tavern keepers or even taverns or other things.
not sponsored.
Not yeah. For tavern, give me, if someone would like to give me a D100 for the first part of the name. Oh,
All
I'm
right.
two D100.
Ooh, perfect. I rolled 2. First number 24.
Okay, so we've got Jagged.
96.
96, the Jagged Cavern. Do you want to stick with that, or do you guys want to try maybe 2 more? Just so you've got some.
Yeah.
I'll roll 2 more just for the heck of it.
Yeah. Make a pool.
All right. So 43.
43, Bear, as in Bare.
Damn it. Okay, and then 77.
The Bear Hearth. Hesitancy there.
Let's do a third.
Sure.
Go for it.
70.
70.
43.
So 70. Wise. So, I'm noticing here, this is my mistake. Do we still have those numbers, or are they gone to the ether?
I can't remember mine. I'm sorry.
Okay, because I see the reason here. My bad. So by those numbers, we've got 2 choices we could do, basically, automatically. So it gives you 2 choices for each 100, basically.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
So in any case, then we've got for name 1, Wise for 70, or Hideaway, and then 43 is Bear or Hall.
Okay, so you could splice those 2 together then to be something like Hideaway Hall or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts, Colin?
Thinking since we're in Shellview. Scrambled. No scramble.
No scramble?
because you could call it scrambled something, but it's too
The
punny
poached pearl.
if we're going on egg puns. I don't want to pile egg on egg.
Why not? We're the strange people.
Yeah, it's a tavern. I mean, have you seen most tavern names or even bar names? I mean, they're all kind of.
Okay, so if we're going for excellent puns for a tavern name, shell shocked.
The runny yolk.
Runny yolk.
That's the thing. This is the name of your lair. So basically, this is what you guys are wanting to have comfortably. So I can't say really.
Maybe something with hatching.
Potentially. The hatchery.
Oh.
Yeah, I like it.
The hatchery.
Mm-hmm. Kind of strange. What are they hatching? I thought they were smugglers. We're hatching schemes.
All right. So you are in a unassuming back room / basement of a tavern, the hatchery in Shellview. Now you've got what's known as hunting grounds. Now these are areas that your crew usually targets for scores. You know it well, and it doesn't have to be in the same area as your lair. It's a small area though, not too large, about 3 or 4 city blocks. So essentially, you can pick from any of those districts if you like, and then you basically just have to determine what area that you want to have your hunting grounds in. This is just like an area that for sure you go back to routinely for jobs or just information, that kind of stuff.
I think for smugglers, it would make the most sense to have it be in a dockyard of some kind, because that's, I mean,
Yeah,
you have lots of scores going through.
Absolutely. It's the place this is getting lots of import export travel, just foot traffic, people, things. Are kind of getting kind of a general amalgamation of a lot of things passing through docks.
So you guys are doing your hunting grounds predominantly as the dockyards of Shellview. Now, here's a fun thing that I can give. So one fun aspect about this game is that you have things like reputation, and basically similar to a video game, you've got reputation for how other gangs and people perceive you. And I can tell you which gang actually has a fairly, like, they're well known / they're in this area. So there are 2 particular gangs. No, sorry, it has to be 1 gang. That's right, it's on the 1. So there is 1 major gang that operates in kind of the Goldwater Bay of Shellview, and that's the Bottom Feeders.
That's great.
What they do is that they work in scavenging in the Goldwater Bay. So they have diving suits. They go down into the Goldwater Bay and they go to collect things and bring them back up. And they sometimes will purposely sink ships on occasion, it's been rumored, to gather resources and the like. So the Bottom Feeders are the predominant gang there. Now, because of this, that means there are 3 things that you have to do, decide between the 2 of you of what you want to do, how to deal with this reputation. So you can pay them off by giving them 1 coin in exchange for them to give you room to work. You can pay 2 coin as a show of respect and gain +1 status with them, or you guys can keep your money and take a -1 status with the faction. You're sorry, go ahead.
Which of the factions is this again?
This is the Bottom Feeders.
The Bottom Feeders.
They're kind of a low tier gang, but I mean, this is the area that they have control over for the most part.
I think we'd want them, while remaining strange, I wouldn't think that our group would be closed off to potential allyship, I don't think we would be gunning for control. I think we're that strange guy Ned over there in the corner. If you could talk to him every now and then at the party, you might have a fun conversation, or you might just be like, okay, good seeing you, Ned. I'll catch you later.
Good seeing you, strange Ned.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon. Oh,
God. Never talk to Ned. He's bad news.
Hi. So, I feel like, what do you think about 1 coin? Kind of like having like a foot, not in the door, but kind of like in their hand, shaking the hand.
I think that makes the most sense. Just we don't have a very large crew. Just looking at it from top down, we don't have a very big operation. So we would still want to be friendly with the local crime syndicate, but not necessarily bolstered for them because we still have to eat. So I think it makes sense to pay them one coin so we can work comfortably in their zone, I guess.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, the hatchery? Yeah, they're fun. Kind of weird, but yeah.
Okay, so you're going to pay off one coin in exchange from the bottom feeders to give you some room to work in their area. All right. Another thing you can do now is you can choose a special ability of your crew. So if you look at that sheet there, so the top one they recommend is if you don't really know what kind of special ability you want for your crew, they recommend the first one as a way of it's a default. It's kind of the recommended. Otherwise, you can pick any of these here. I won't list them all off here. I think it's better just maybe you guys can read off one or two that you're interested in and just kind of read it off for the listeners at home.
And just confirming, it's smugglers, special abilities. The first one that we're seeing is the one that says like part of the family. Am I in the correct spot?
Yes.
Got it. I'm taking a look through some of these here.
Yeah, because they are looking pretty interesting here.
Some of these, though, they do interact with other parts of the system that I'm still unfamiliar. So things like require an asset, reduce heat, and what is heat? I forget.
So heat is what happens after and how well a job goes. So if you guys do well on a job, then you don't get as much heat. It's basically your wanted level, essentially. There are things to reduce heat, like I was saying here in this ability here. But also there are actions as players that you can make to reduce heat. So basic ways to reduce your wanted level.
I guess for the versatility, all hands is drawing my attention. It says during downtime, one of your cohorts may perform a downtime activity for the crew to acquire an asset, reduce heat, or work on a long-term project. I feel like that gives us a lot of wiggle room, I guess, during downtime. But I'm not quite sure because the other one above it there talks about a vehicle of some kind, which might be useful for smugglers.
Yeah, the one that says create one of your vehicles as a cohort. Its quality is equal to your tier +1.
And I've got a list here for things for the vehicle edges and flaws, which it looks like it says use the vehicle edges and flaws below, which I'm wondering if this is still on here.
I also looked at Renegades. Each PC, I'm assuming player character, may add +1 action rate to finesse, prowl, or skirmish, up to a max rating of 3. So we're a bit more adept at what we do, it seems like. And also, when it says veteran, choose special ability from another crew, but it has two marks next to it.
Right. So for your special abilities, you can acquire more special abilities as you level up your crew. So you can upgrade and get more. It's basically, like I said, it's like a character. It's a character that you all are able to utilize to on jobs or even just for your downtime, that kind of stuff. And it's like they're saying in here, it's important to pick a special ability that everyone is excited about. You can get more special abilities in the future by earning XP.
I know.
It also helps you to focus the area of your crimes as well. It's basically, one of the examples I give is that, for instance, instead of playing a generic crew of scoundrels, you end up with, this is just an example, assassins who are daring with a lair in the old watchtower, with hunting grounds in a place across in the docklands, and have a preference for murder with the deadly special ability. But basically it gives you kind of some context to kind of zero in on what kind of characters you are, what kind of crew you are, what kind of jobs you're going to go on.
One thing I am curious about with these special abilities, it talks about ghost passage. From harsh experience or occult ritual, all crew members become immune to possession by spirits but may choose to carry a second ghost as a passenger. Now, I know the original setting for this was steampunk, spiritual kind of inspired, but we're working off our own mythos and story here. So does that
Ghosts, well, so we did have some ghost-like things in our... We did have the strange woman that was twerking on the beach.
The dancing lady. It's twerking.
Okay. But no, there are supernatural elements that exist in the city. So there will be ghosts. There will be, and also I was being very blatant by saying there are vampires as well. So
Well,
I mean,
yes.
so
Okay. fair enough.
there are supernatural elements to the city.
For all of the crew members being immune to possession by spirits could add to it really kind of adds to the strange feeling everybody gets about us because we've all been through something. Got that extra look in our eye, maybe.
Does it mean we are also immune to vampirism by flavoring of this universe?
No,
Okay. Drat.
no.
Fine. I guess looking at this list, I've narrowed it down at least to renegades, which would be helpful in the moment while we're out and about, and then all hands, which is something to do when we get back to the hideout. Those seem the most advantageous to me, just based on the kind of idea we've started to build.
I like
What do you
renegades as
think?
well. Renegades gives us a little bit of an extra foothold, you know.
Okay.
We'll add that to the list. Renegades. You had it made. Now we've got crew upgrades. Each crew type has 2 pre-selected upgrades that suit the crew. You can add 2 additional upgrades.
So under the smugglers bottom box,
You're looking at where it says crew upgrades.
yes, down
To
at
the
the very bottom, the gray box on the right hand side.
Yeah, smugglers rigging, camouflage, elite rovers, barge, which means we have a moving lair, which means we'd probably hop out of the tavern, and then
It could be a
steady.
tavern on the water. I mean, if it's in near Shellview, the hatchery, it could be literally on the water, like a floating tavern. Be kind of fun.
The smugglers rigging 2 items are perfectly concealed.
Ooh, that does sound useful.
Camouflage vehicles are perfectly concealed at rest, so we don't get a Amazonian Wonder Woman plane that's completely invisible at all times while flying, but it needs to be at rest. Got it.
And we can choose how many of these. Just one for now.
You get to add 2 additional upgrades to your new crew, so you have a total of 4 upgrades when you start. You can choose from the specific upgrades available to your crew type or the general upgrades on the crew sheet. For example, you might pick the cult upgrade Ritual Sanctum as one of your choices, and also the general upgrade Insight Training as your other choice.
Oh, so we automatically have a vehicle just by virtue of what we are.
Yes. But so when it says like part of the family, it says create one of your vehicles as a cohort. Cohorts are another mechanic, or because you basically can get. Because the thing is, your crew starts off small, and it's not technically just the 2 of you. Is that it's just a very small gang. You'll build out the gang in a minute when you get to Scoundrels and other stuff. You'll get, because if you look at there where it says contacts, is that you'll be getting contacts as well. So the gang will be bigger. It's just, which is why also the way this game works is that Blades in the Dark is that the crew is in some way kind of more of the main characters than the Scoundrels, because there is a very real possibility that your Scoundrel may get put in prison for life, or they may potentially die. There are mechanics associated with when you die, whether you can become a ghost or even a vampire. What do you know? I tied it right into this. So yeah, there are options available to you. So if your Scoundrel dies, the crew remains basically.
Got it. And just to confirm, I'm sorry if I'm making you repeating this. We start off with 2 crew upgrades.
Yes.
Okay.
You have a vehicle and prowess training, it looks like.
And then we add 2 more.
In that case, camouflage would seem like a pretty good crew upgrade. If our lair is the vehicle and our vehicles are perfectly concealed at rest, that's a...
Well, our layer isn't a vehicle unless we chose barge, which might be kind of fun, like a floating tavern on the water. Waterfront property to see the egg. But yeah, camouflage. I think both camouflage and the smuggler's rigging rather, are very enticing based on their descriptions here.
Yeah, because smuggler worth their salt to be able to hide something on them.
Right.
I like smugglers rigging as well.
So smuggler's rigging, which allows you guys to have 2 items that are perfectly concealed, and camouflage, where your vehicles are perfectly concealed at rest.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. So because you got these additional upgrades, there is something here that will happen is that there are 2 factions that are impacted by your choices for these upgrades. One faction helped you get an upgrade, they like you, and you get +1 status with them. Your option, spend 1 coin to repay their kindness and take +2 status with them instead, and also, one faction was screwed over when you got an upgrade. They don't like you. You get a -2 status with them. At your option, spend 1 coin to mollify them and take -1 status with them instead. So, one faction helped you get your upgrade.
I think we got one coin left right now.
Yep.
So at your option, you can spend 1 coin to repay their kindness. There's like, I will say that the bottom feeders helped you out because, hey, you gave them a coin to let them work. And so, you know what? They gave you some upgrades. I would say they were the ones that gave you the camouflage because they, of course, need that kind of camouflage themselves to work in getting the various scuttle and everything else that's in the bay. The faction that was screwed over when you got an upgrade, though, that doesn't like you, and you get a -2 status with them, or again, at your option, spend 1 coin to make a -1 status. We're going to say the fin scrapes.
The fin scrapes.
The fin scrapes.
What's their deal?
Most members have their teeth filed to look like sharks, and some even delve into lycanthropy as muscle. We're going to say that they were screwed over because you got smuggler's rigging, and we're going to say that you got access to a particular type of this rigging that allows you to kind of just hide things around, and they just were not appreciative of that. So we're going to say the fin scrapes are -2. But then this is your option. With that last coin, if you'd like, you can either spend that coin to the bottom feeders to get a +2 status with them, because right now you just have a +1, or you can get it where you can do a -1 status with the fin scrapes.
I don't know if I want to start with a -2 to the shark teeth lichens, you know?
I mean, but on the same token, we only had 2 coins. We're down to 1 now. So if we then spend it to assuage the fin scrapes, does that then mean we have no capital at all?
You basically don't have enough capital in the sense of like you can't buy big things, right?
Could we survive with 0 coin? Because that would...
Yes, you could survive with 0 coin. It's not like, think of it like this too. It's not like I said with the sandwich example. It's not like when you're down to 0 coin, you do not have money for sandwich. You still technically have money for sandwich.
Okay.
But it's just you don't have a lot of money, right?
We're on the ramen diet. Got it.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I don't want to start negative either. If it means that we're not, absolutely broke, then yeah, probably pay 1 coin to make him slightly less grumpy.
Well, yeah, slightly less grumpy than very grumpy works. At least, we might not be, bite on sight.
Okay.
Bite on sight.
So you are at +1 with the bottom feeders. Actually, let me see. I don't think there's actually... Oh yeah, you're just still +1 bottom feeders. So that's good. +1 bottom feeders, -1 with the fin scrapes. Now you get to choose a favorite contact. So you take a look at your list of potential contacts on the cruise sheet. So you can choose one contact who is either a close friend, longtime ally, or a partner in crime. Now, if you guys want, we can just pick from these list of names so we have present here on this little cheat sheet, or we could roll for a name. And we could just say that the contact's profession still stays the same.
Okay, so zeroing in on profession, my eyes are immediately drawn to either a dock worker or the tavern owner of where our lair is. I feel like the tavern owner would be the most advantageous just because that's where we live.
Yeah, they kind of encompass almost all of it because they're kind of a dock worker because the tavern's on the dock. They probably have seen their fair share of drugs and some guns maybe come through. Hear some stories about some spirits. Maybe they're maybe they've got a little bit of anarchy in them. I feel like the tavern owner kind of encompasses all of that. So, yeah.
I'm quite excited actually, because then if you are fine rolling the character, because this giant character generator is going to provide some context for you guys, which I'm looking forward to. Foist, we're going to do basically what we normally do for a random NPC generator is that we're going to roll for the race/species. So give me a D10.
You know what, Collin, go for it.
All right, D10 is 10 exactly. 10.
Roll again.
Oh,
was it?
well then. 5.
A half elf. I have all these books in front of me, Gandalf style, and I am trying not to have it tilt over my water. So I am precariously scooting my loud chair forward as I try to. And we're gonna start. We're just gonna ignore all this age stuff here.
Mhm.
This does not need to be prevalent right now. So I think for the sake of it, we're just gonna roll the name quick. So go ahead and give me a D100, just one right now.
Go for
I
it.
got it. 62.
First name is Poe,
Okay.
and give me a D100 roll for last name.
Go for it.
33.
33.
Tamaron.
Yeah, Poe. Well, here's the last name. Poe Us.
No.
No, yeah.
Let's try again. First and
Okay.
last time feeling.
Us.
50.
What's up, boss?
Ish. 58.
Poe.
What?
Actually, I like this.
It's just Ope.
No. Poe Ope. No, it's Poe. I like this. Poe Blackreed.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay, so a half elf named Poe Blackreed.
Got it.
Just for the sake of having some additional fun, who would like to have a description for this individual beyond just being Poe Blackreed, the half elf?
As in roll for a description?
Yes, because there is a description table here. So go ahead and give me a D100 roll for a description.
All right. 22.
Poe Blackreed with a blank expression and wild ear hair.
No. Oh no.
No? Okay. You don't want that elf. You don't want those long ears to have long hair
Is
just
that why
coming
he's
out.
called Black Reed? Because he's got just a field of black hair coming out his ears.
Ugh.
Give me another D100 roll if you're not feeling the furry ears.
Not feeling the hairy inner ears. 37.
Poe Blackreed, the half elf, is devoid of eyebrows and a sense of humor.
Man, we're just gonna kill him, huh? We're just killing my boy.
Third time's the charm.
Sure.
All right, let's do third time's a charm.
Lucky number 13.
Poe Blackreed, the half elf, with a massive nose and a tight mouth.
Oh.
That is a description.
I mean, can I just offer the description of Richmond from the IT crowd? Richmond.
I dig it. I like that. I'll just say, yeah, I can do that voice again. Poe Blackreed.
Sorry for people who don't know the reference, but he almost kind of already looks like a little bit of a half elf. If he had long ears, I could imagine.
Funeral?
He's got the long hair, kind of the little bit of a lanky, gaunt figure, kind of a voice like this.
He does whatever he can, Look at that light. Is it blinking? I'm not sure. Is that good or not?
Is that good or not?
I have no idea. All right, so Poe Blackreed, the half elf, looks like Richmond. You've created your crew. The thing is, like most crews, you might need a name. So, as a reminder of kind of your general group here, is that you are strange smugglers that operate in the back room of a tavern called the Hatchery in Shellview. You work predominantly in the dockyards, you have a good relationship with the bottom feeders, and you're kind of renegades. Working about with your smuggling, with your camouflage vehicle, and yeah.
Why? This is a little bit of a granular question, but
Sure.
why do you think our group is regarded as strange? Because that could help towards the naming of this group.
I was kind of wondering the same thing. I almost wonder if we want to make the people in the group as our characters first and then come back to the name and what seeming that might make sense.
That strikes me actually as pretty valid, yeah. Okay, so we can hold off on the name then. We're now finally into character creation. I'm sure you have been chomping at the bit, folks. So what you guys will be playing as. Now, the thing is that they don't call these classes, they call these playbooks. The reason being is that there are a number of different options available to you for playbook. Basically, it just gives you your special abilities and also dictates your XP triggers. So it basically gives you If you do a particular action, then that guarantees you get XP, that stuff. So, yeah, what were people thinking they'd want to play as for a playbook?
Now that we know we're going to be smugglers, it kind of adjusts the choice a little bit. So I'm going to be looking over these playbooks here for just an extra moment more, if you don't mind.
Sure. And something to be mindful of as well is that they, even though they state these playbooks, is that it's not exactly one to things like D&D or Pathfinder or anything like that. So you could have a you could have a person that is a Bravo or a Bravos or something like that. It's basically like a fighter, right? Working in smugglers. Like you can have that. You can have someone that's a bit. You can have like the spider working in smugglers, or the one that's I think it's like one like a creepy guy. It's the weird, or is that I'm thinking of Monsters of the Week. A whisper. Like you could have a whisper in the smugglers. So don't feel like you have to pigeonhole yourself in, particularly if you'd like. If you feel like you want to play a particular playbook, do so. And if you'd like, I can give you some description. I can actually give you descriptions of the playbooks here, so that you've got a general idea of like what each one kind of does. So
Yeah.
you've got cutters, which cutters are good at winning fights with violence and intimidation. Hounds are good at tracking things and also long distance combat. Leeches are good at using alchemy and wrecking stuff with sabotage. Lurks are good at sneaking around and breaking into places. Slides are good at social situations and subterfuge. Spiders are good at masterminding maneuvers. And whispers are good at magical stuff and dealing with ghosts.
Now, I was interested when looking over one of these characters. It did mention under the Hound, it does mention a pet. Is that an exclusive feature of the Hound playbook then? That they would have a companion of some kind?
That would most like, if it's a mechanical aspect of the playbook, then I believe so. From what I'm getting is, I'm guessing you can still technically have a pet. It's just mechanic wise, it wouldn't get any of the benefits if you're a different playbook, right? So if you're the
Right.
Hound, then your animal friend has all these options. If you're not a Hound, you could still have a pet. It's just they're not going to have all these bonuses with it, right?
I did have a character that has been floating around in my head after reading these playbooks, but I wanted to ask you as the DM if this fit, because I was thinking of it from a setting lore perspective as opposed to a mechanical one.
Sure. Do you want to pick heritage first then, basically? So do you guys just want to pick what you want to play as far as species first? Because we're pretty much the area we're working with amalgamation is it's a bit free reign. So pretty much any creature or species that exists in D&D or for the most part is going to exist in this amalgamation and in this northern country. Depending on what you pick, they might be rarer than most.
So what is
I just don't want to sorry, I
Sorry,
just
go
don't want
ahead.
to pigeonhole anyone into particular choices of like, well, you can only play as dwarves in the northern part, right? Like I don't want to do that.
Sounds
So
great. So what is the demographic of this particular area? What's the spread?
we really didn't do a lot of what we did with amalgamation with the northern country. We did that more kind of in the southern parts, I believe. But this makeup would be mostly how like most humanoid races would of course be in this area. So humans, half elves, dwarves, gnomes, halflings. You'd have half orcs, goblins, hobgoblins. I'm basically just naming all of them, basically, but it's just I know this doesn't really help you, but I would say that play what you want to. I don't want to. I never want to stop people from being able to play what kind of species or race they'd like to play. So if you want to play a particular one, feel
Hmm.
free.
Okay. I kind of was going through where it says, choose a playbook and a heritage. And I see that it gives you some kind of keywords of prompts for different looks and aliases and names that you can have. And
Yes.
so far, I'm eyeing up Whisper, and
Okay.
I did see up where it says looks. I saw a couple of keywords that stood out to me. Well, that would go with the playbook that I'm using here. As the Whisper, they're kind of more on the like an arcane whisper, more of the occult. And I saw that there you have a look that you can choose between man, woman, ambiguous, or concealed. And I like the idea of concealed. as it gives you many different types of clothing prompts as well. And I see a heavy cloak on there, and just cloaked, veiled. The only thing that you can hear of this person is their voice and how they speak and enunciate. Yes, I am a part of this group.
Mm.
Why do you need to know this? It's you just see only the the shadow of the hood of the heavy cloak that this person wears. Not
Okay.
normally, not you don't see their visage.
Okay. Is this person, so are you choosing to keep the identity completely a secret of what you are beneath the cloak? Or like are you hiding, like basically are you hiding this from your other crew? Or are you hiding this from the city? Right?
I'd like to think that the crew was just always okay with it.
Okay.
They've never asked to see him because they've always been with them. And one of the I know I'm going completely from the book here, but I like a lot of these prompts that they are using as they are very handy. And I think I'll just instead of going completely homebrew with it, I would like to choose one of the aliases from the list, and I see on there the name Wicker.
Ooh. Wicker the Whisper.
Yes, I am that which they call.
For my own edification then, so are you human? Are you, like, what are you?
Is that the heritage?
That is still, yeah, that would technically be heritage. Yeah, the creature species that.
Could you go over what those are, if possible?
Yeah, so it's basically if there is a particular, like, so when I say any D&D fantasy race, so amalgamation that we built up is like we have dragonborn tieflings, we've got elves, we've got humans, half elves. So basically just think of any race essentially, or even an analogous race. Wow. Any kind of race similar to the one that you're thinking of in D&D. And you can pick one of those. The reason being is that we built up the amalgamation like big, and then we're going zeroing in on Malavia, zeroing in on Saltvein. The races are the same as they would be all over amalgamation. We never got to the point of where we did the population type of Malavia because we never really rolled up that country specifically. The demographics could be whatever we want them to be right now. You could be a person from the southern, what was it, the place where the Fullings were, right? Like you could be a full grown halfling, or you could be a halfling, you know? So
Flames.
I know there's a lot of choices now there. I'm sorry. Otherwise, if you want, you can go ahead and roll to see what you want to be. Or
While he mulls it over, I do have a question about it. It doesn't specify what can be done with a pet or what constitutes as a pet in this mechanic. At least not from the playbook I'm reading. The reason I ask, we had talked at one point during the amalgamation, or specifically the Quiet Year, about the subsect of youths that had made friendships with golems.
okay,
And I don't know if that would technically constitute as a pet in this scenario.
just so I can see it, where is it saying on the Hound for that?
I just noticed it and it's literally one word. It's under Ghost Hunter. Your hunting pet is imbued with spirit energies. It doesn't necessarily outline that there is a companion, so it may not even be part of it, but I just noticed that specific line.
Sure. Let me go to the thing in the book. Maybe there's something more specific. It doesn't really specify. It just says your hunting pet is imbued with spirit energy. Your pet functions as a cohort, expert hunter, okay, which I don't think you have. So here's the thing: is if you look under Hound items, your animal companion obeys your commands and anticipates your actions. So it's an item that you get. Technically, it's classified as such. It looks like.
Okay, but it's not one that is given to you at the outset or that you have.
It does so with the items here.
I'm looking for the items, but oh, there we are. Got it. Fine pair of
Right.
pistols, fine long rifle, electroplasmic ammunition, A trained hunting pet, spyglass, spirit bane charm.
Yes, so you have access to all of the items on your character sheet. For each operation, you decide what your character's load is going to be. During the operation, you may say that your character has an item on hand by checking the box of the item you want to use, up to a number of items equal to your chosen load. So yeah, it basically means that you just get the ability. You have access to these items, so you have a pet. But it says animal companion. I don't know if we want to classify those
True. That's
golems as animals.
It just said simply pet, so I wasn't sure functionally how that would work. So I think I'm going to pivot away from my idea then. So I will have to think on it some more.
Okay.
I kind of figured Collin might go more of the thinky, whispery route. So I think as a good balance, something that may be more upfront, smash and grab, potentially Cutter then.
Cutter.
The little more muscle, you know.
Oh, you're gonna go that way?
Yeah, I've never done character like that, so.
Ooh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Forward to that.
Are you?
So you want to play as a cutter?
I think so.
Okay, so I'm gonna note that down here. And if there's anything about these playbooks that later on you're going, I don't really want if I do this, then I believe there are options in here to just switch playbooks or just figure that out. So if there's something that's just not hitting well with you with the playbook, we can work that out. All right, Wicker, have you figured out what you are, or are you just some sort of shapeless nothing beneath the cloak?
Is it bad to want to give you and just you the race?
Yes, that's great, actually. I love that. Yes,
How
please.
dare
Mystery. Mystery. Yes. Sure. You can let me know. Via message then. Don't worry about it.
All right, perfect. And if you
Ooh, okay.
All right.
I just saw it. Yes, okay. All right. That should be interesting.
Yes, very much indeed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do you also want a cloak, Amanda? So we can just make this really interesting. Now, the listeners can be guessing the entire time what you are.
Now, just to be completely fair, are you comfortable with me having my race initially shielded? As there may
yeah! This is character moments. They're potential.
All right. Okay. Yep. All right. In that case, yeah, I've decided, and yeah, I'll continue with Whisper then, and I'll go ahead and we'll keep it concealed for now, as you never know what might happen during the game.
Sure. Depending on, that's the thing too, is that like we'll have some mystery to it. I have to be very careful then when we're going through of this will be interesting.
Just some errant description. I was like, and your feathers crinkle beneath. Write that down.
My crinkling feathers. No, not my crinkling feathers. It's wrappers from candy wrappers. Oh no!
You just coughed and a plume of feathers came out. Are you okay?
Hey everybody, it's me, Tim, also known as Curbs, your DM, GM, and I'm trying to find something to Kaiser Sose off of my desk here, but I'm not seeing anything really interesting enough. Rubber duck. That sounds weird. Moving forward. Just want to thank everyone for listening, subscribing, sharing, liking, rating, all that algorithmic razzmatazz. Really helps us grow. Greatly appreciate it. We hope you're having fun with the podcast. Just want to do a few custodial things here as we set up the next few episodes and arcs and other things for the future. So I'll try to keep this brief. I know this episode for Blades in the Dark Session 0 is a bit long, but I'll try to be as brief as possible. As we stated before, the Blades in the Dark arc is going to be the next arc for our podcast. It's going to run a little bit longer than the previous arcs. We're not sure exactly how long, but it's going to be long enough to leave some beefier things to chew on for characters and story. Another thing, due to work-life stuff, the next few episodes will be a bit later than most. I'm sure some of you that have been listening before realize that there's been the occasional time where the podcast has been a week late or sometimes 2 weeks late due to work-life stuff. This was definitely my fault. I messed up with some scheduling and time management with work-life balance stuff, and it didn't work out to align with some proper recording time. So the first proper episode with sound effects, music, won't be out for potentially a few weeks. However, this does give you time to catch up on previous arcs and even to rate us, leave a comment on the podcast, and to recommend us. We greatly appreciate your patience as we are still learning new things, not just, systems like TTRPG systems, but also programs and scheduling and the like as we learn to develop the podcast. We, again, thank you for your patience. However, you can still follow our socials for updates and behind the scenes stuff like character art, maps, and other things like that. Also, our YouTube, at some point here in the near future, will start having some additional stuff like rough animated shorts, visual stuff that really wouldn't work well for the podcast, and a few other things. In the meantime, there are some recommendations I have here for other interesting podcasts, like Dice Company. We recently did a promo swap with them. Just a Little Guy, where they focus on discussing and creating monsters for your RPGs, and Mass Effect Adventum, which is an actual play podcast revolving around the Mass Effect universe. I believe they are using 5e as their system. They do a lot of audio effects and other things like that. It's really fun. I'm not sure if they're still going, but give them a listen. Anyway, what's ahead? Well, as I mentioned several episodes before this, we are going to be trying to get a Patreon set up. This is not only simply to just have a way of potentially funding the podcast, as in making sure that we've got enough money for the hosting and other things, but mostly it's to kind of build into it for us to interact with you guys for voting for next arcs, interacting with character pools and other things to basically just get this podcast up and running a bit more to buy better equipment and more books and more source material to support other artists, that kind of stuff. And if you would like further updates, you can again check out our YouTube channel at Tables and Fables Pod, our Instagram at Tables and Fables Pod, at Blue Sky with tablesandfablespod.bsky.social, and the official site for the podcast, www.tablesandfablespod.com. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for tuning in, for rating the podcast, and we really hope you're enjoying this journey with us. We're having a lot of fun exploring new systems, coming up with new characters, new worlds, and the like. So, yeah, we're just happy to be doing this with you, and we're hoping that in the future we can continue doing more of this. All right, well, enough of me rambling on. I'm sure this has gone on far enough. I will let us get back to Blades in the Dark Session 0 into the Sanguine Song. Trying to find a best way to kind of play myself out, but you know what? We're just going to shut up and go back into it. Thanks, everybody.
Follow-up question here in regards to now that I've picked. I do see where it says Heritage, where it says Akros, the Dagger Isle, Zaruvia, Severos.
So, yeah, so we're not gonna, that's from Doskvol, so we will not be using those locations. If you want a specific location, again, if you need reminders of kind of some areas or anything like that that's in the region or even in the southern part of the amalgamation, then yeah, just let me know where you came from.
And in background, where it says the different designations of academic or labor, or law, trade.
Sure, background is basically that's what you did before you joined the crew. It's like a general background option. So think of it kind of like this. So there are some options here. And then there are some specifics as to like elaborate on those options. So, for instance, the example they give is that if you chose labor as a background, is that you could write that you are a sailor, that you worked in the labor, you were a sailor that was a laborer, right? Because the options here are academic, labor, law, trade, military, noble, and underworld. And if you need more specifics about which one is which, just let me know.
Okay. All right. In that case, I see a bunch of, again, I'm just going straight from the Blades of the Dark material here, which is already, it's just causing fantastic bursts of inspiration just from what they're providing here. If I'm going too far ahead, feel free to just to rein me in a bit. But I'd like to have the background be underworld.
Okay. All right. And what were you in the underworld then?
Well, where it says below that, where it says vice and purveyor, in the of the weird, you go see Wicker if you've got any question about ghosts, phantasms, the occult. What was my dream about? Wicker is definitely leaning more into the arcane and the occult and the strange.
Yeah, just so you're aware of. So vice purveyor, that's actually something else specifically. That's not part of the background.
Got it. Okay.
That's because there's another mechanic called Vice that helps you to reduce another resource called stress. Because there are things that can add stress to you in the middle of a job, and at the end of it, during downtime, you basically partake of your vice. And your vice does.
Sorry.
Here's the thing. No, yeah, your vice doesn't necessarily have to be drugs either. It basically just has to be something that centers you as your character, right? It could even be your vice is your family. Like you just go home to your family at the end of the day, and I'm just glad to see you guys, right? That reduces stress, right? So think of it like that.
Got it. Well, in that case, if what Whisper did on and in the underworld is that people would see them for any manner of anything that had to do with the arcane, the weird. Some might maybe ask
Yeah,
for
did you operate as like a seer or like a fortune teller, basically?
yes. I would go with that as not to weave a continual pathway here, but one of the special abilities underneath Whisper, of which I believe we are going to get one, if I'm correct.
Yes, you get one ability to start, and then you get more later on.
As one of them is Compel. You can attune to the ghost field to force a nearby ghost to appear and obey a command you give it. You are not supernaturally terrified by a ghost you summon or compel, though your allies may be. I like the image of somebody asking Wicker something, and he says, "No, let me ask," and he's, "Tell me," and the ghost appears. You need to know this, and then it disappears. And
What's
he
the Wi-Fi password?
yeah, that just that exactly. He can compel something nearby as it's capital A11_0. You know, just something straight.
Capital A11.
Wait, can you repeat that? I said capital A. Just like had to clear my throat. But yeah, it's I would like to think that he was, or well, we'll say that they were a seer.
Okay.
You know, you come see Wicker if you got a supernatural or weird question going on.
All right. Well, Wicker, while you're communing with the spirits, let's go on and cut back to the cutter over here.
Hi.
Then we'll get to your abilities. It sounds like you're wanting to do compel. So we'll note that at some. You can go ahead and note that on your sheet if you have one,
Okay.
or if you're keeping notes. I'm keeping some notes here.
I'm
but as
keeping
far as your
notes. I'm
abilities-
keeping notes.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So Cutter, what you feeling? What you doing? Who are you?
Who am I? I think to be kind of a foil to this sneaky and mysterious. I'm thinking for this character to be kind of upfront and in your face. I'm waffling between a couple different things. I'm fighting the urge to go dwarf. So I kind of want to go dwarf. But let me see here. I was thinking of the special abilities not to be trifled with. You can push yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical force that verges on superhuman, engage a small gang on equal footing in close combat. Just somebody that can really hold their own, at least from a martial standpoint. And I was looking at those backgrounds too. Scroll. So I know we touched on slightly during the quiet year. We talked about, mer people and the incident with the dragon turtle. I imagine that this person would have been a Leviathan hunter. Or a guy that was just out on the seas chasing or going after creatures far above and beyond the normal, which is why they've kind of returned back to land. They're done with the waters and all the dangers they're in, at least not too far out of harbor.
So you were a laborer then. So you worked for hunting sea creatures in the cold water.
It was under institutions, but yeah, labor seems whatever works.
Labor, and I'm just gonna put sea monster hunter.
Does it head under institutions as like the Leviathan hunters? But it was either going to be someone who worked in the Crimson Forests, or it was going to be somebody hunting creatures.
So do you want it to just be a, let's see here, labor? I mean, not to pigeonhole you, but in some way well, it could be an additional level of it. So labor does work, it seems there, or it could be that you are military, but labor does seem probably most appropriate. So we could say that you're a labor, but also you hunter. You basically you track things. You're not a hound, but you basically you worked with hunters and stuff to find big game. And I shouldn't I shouldn't be painting your picture for you. So you need to tell me what you were.
I would say labor is a good blanket term because I'm still waiting for parts of the story to lithify for this character. And I think my idea is that this character has a reputation for being a tough bastard, but nobody seems to know why. So there's this kind of, you ask him how many times, or her, I haven't decided yet. You ask them about their backstory, they might give you a different story each time, and nobody quite knows which one of these. Did he really wrestle a dragon turtle? Did he drink straight from the crystal lake and be fine? Like, who knows?
Okay.
Imagine only the closest and nearest and dearest to them knows the true story. As far as what they are, screw it, dwarf. Let's go dwarf.
Dwarf.
Yep.
Dwarf.
Dwarf.
So now that we've done that, this is where we're going to get to the nitty gritty of your abilities here. So when you start off, you have these actions. If you look at your sheet there's different actions with your playbook, but they're basically part of the general actions you can take. So you've got that insight, prowess, resolve, and you notice you've got hunt, study, survey, tinker, like all these options in here. If you need further breakdown of what each one does, there is, of course, at the very beginning, there is a breakdown of the action roles of what they do. So what we're doing is we're going to be assigning your action dots, which is basically like your proficiencies. So it's giving you the ability to do so. Your playbook begins with 3 action dots already placed. You get to add 4 more dots, so you'll have 7 total. They recommend that you can put 1 dot in any action that you feel represents your character's heritage. Put 1 dot in any action that you feel represents your character's background. And then the 2 last dots anywhere else you please. The thing is, though, is that when you first start off, you only get a max rating of 2. So if you look at your character sheet here, or your playbook, you see how it's got the, let's say for Cutter, you see under prowess, it's got those 2 dots under skirmish.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't put that up to 4. Not yet, anyway, at level 1. So basically, you have a max of 2 in any action that you put right now. Who would like to go first in placing the dots? I mean, if you need a moment to look over the actions, I can actually very quickly also just say what each action does. Probably should do that for the benefit of the podcast, too. Apologies.
Mm-hmm.
So the actions are varied here. It looks like there's a few. Why am I saying there? It looks like there's here are the actions. Attune. Attune is where basically it's basically attuning to spirits in the ghost field, electroplasmic energy. It's basically like your magical thing, right? It's a feeling out if you're attuning to something. Command is obedience with force of personality, so intimidation. Consort is gaining access to resources, information, people, places with your connections. Finesse is basically dexterity, right? You're employing subtle misdirection with sleight of hand. You're handling a vehicle or a mount. Hunt is basically you're gathering information about location and movements, or attacking with precision shooting weapon from a distance. Prowl is about like sneaking around. Basically, it's about climbing, swimming, running, jumping, ambushing with close violence, backstabbing. Skirmishing is close combat. Study is you are basically investigating, right? You're studying a document, a person, to gather information. Survey is looking over a location or situation to understand what's going on. Sway is basically your persuasion check. It's someone with charm, logic, deception, etc. for manipulation or seduction. Tinker is tinkering with mechanisms, kind of breaking into something potentially. And wreck is basically an obstacle with savage force is applied, so you are fully destroying something. Now, something to be aware of too is that these actions, they don't necessarily mean that you have to perform the specific action. If you can argue to me that I'm gonna do consort in this situation, You just have to argue to me what you're wanting to do. Because the cool thing about Blades in the Dark is that I'm not saying this to be lazy. I don't make any rolls. You guys set all the actions and you make all the rolls. I set what's known as basically the difficulty and the risk, or the risk and the effect. Sorry. So, for instance, you've got a risky effect of where basically you decide to, you've got a demon in front of you, right? The demon is a supernatural entity. You could try to, you know what? I'm going to sway this demon because I've got more dots in my sway, right? But then I would say, well, this is kind of a desperate situation. The demon is 12 feet high, is flaming, basically is wielding a giant mace, and he's coming right for you. Are you sure you want to try? If you want to sway, you certainly can, but it's going to be probably a limited effect if you succeed in this roll. So it's a desperate situation with a limited effect. You could still succeed and still do some benefits and some consequences, but maybe you want to do a tune where you're connected with the supernatural elements. You can do whatever you want. You are setting to me the actions that you want to take. I just provide the context of the situation and basically provide to you, yeah, you could do that. It's probably difficult to do so, but you might be able to do so, right?
Got it. Okay.
So it's kind of fun that way because basically you can approach it any way. If you want to say, if you're in a fight, you don't have to skirmish. You can say, I'm going to wreck. I'm going to wreck it. So I'm going to fully obliterate this guard, like that kind of stuff, right? Instead of full on just, doing a skirmish or finesse. So, who would like to place their dots after that very long-winded and probably confusing explanation?
Amanda, have you gotten any ground on the placement of your dots?
Gotcha. So we're doing one for the heritage, one for the background, and then two in general to whatever?
Yes, so it gives a suggestion for this. So if you want to, you can do the heritage background and to wherever, or you can just do wherever, right? They basically just give you some suggestions of like the role play. Consider this, that kind of thing.
Because
Gotcha.
right now it gives me 1, 2, 3. It has 3 dots already placed. One
Right.
in study and 2 in attune for me.
Yes.
And then I place 4 others.
Yes, you place 4 other dots anywhere
Okay.
you'd like, but you can only go to a maximum
Of 2. Got it. Okay.
for now.
All right. I have a bit of an idea. But wanted to toss it to Amanda and see if she's.
If you've got a heading, go for it. I'm thinking between a couple at this point.
Well, with Whisper, it looks like currently the dots that I currently start with. Yeah, yes, quite. The dots that I'm starting with, I get a point in study and then 2 points in attune. The following that I would like to put in there, I would like to start with 1 in prowl, another in skirmish, 1 in command, and 1 in sway.
So these are the dice pools you have built for yourself then. So when you do roll for attunement rolls, you would roll 2 dice. When you roll for the other ones, you would roll just 1. And of course, there are other mechanics associated with it where basically things like pushing yourself, getting assistance from a friend, or things like a devil's bargain, which we'll get back to at some point, will influence these rolls in the future. So, okay, cool. Amanda, what you feeling?
I've got, as just pre-loadout, I have 2 dots in skirmish and 1 in command. And just to clarify, command is basically an intimidation sort of thing. Is that correct?
Obedience with your force of personality, intimidate or threaten, or lead an action with one of the crew's gangs. Yep.
Okay. Then what I would say, based on the vibe I'm getting from this character, I think I will put my first dot in wreck. For sure, 1 in wreck.
Wreck
think.
it.
Wreck it.
Mark it.
If he should name him Ralph. I think 1 in finesse. Just I imagine they are dexterous in some capacity. It's already got 2 in skirmish, so I cannot do any more there. Actually, add a second dot in command. And then for my 4th and final dot, remind me what survey was again.
Survey, think of it kind of like, if I'm recalling this as I scroll back down to make myself seem like I'm competent. Survey. Survey a location or situation to understand what's going on. So it's basically a perception check. Sense trouble before it happens. Gather information about opportunities or exploits.
I would say then survey, because it makes sense that if they're used to fighting, they need to keep their head on a swivel, and watch what's going on.
Sure.
And also, given that I was looking at the special abilities, so the bonus die, the push yourself, it does say not to be trifled with. You can push yourself to do one of the following. So does that mean then that you don't take the potential negative associations with pushing yourself under that special ability?
So what this means is you push yourself. That is, you take a level of stress.
Right.
You can push yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical strength that verges on. So basically, it's a situation of like, for instance, Wicker, like a carriage falls on top of, you know, your best friend or something, and
Okay.
you try to push yourself to move the carriage. You obviously probably can't do it because you're not that strong to begin with, and you could take opponent stress, but there's probably barely anything you can do to push this off. However, Amanda's dwarf character, which, you know, name pending, could be not to be trifled with, can be pushed to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical strength that verges on superhuman. Could full on lift the cart completely off the individual. Still takes a point of stress, but they are able to accomplish it because they're able to do something like that. Right?
Okay. Gotcha. Right. I was concerned about changing that, but I think I'm going to leave that right where it lies then. All right. So that concludes my dots.
Now we've got special ability. It sounds like, Wicker, Collin, you are picking Compel.
Yes, I would definitely like to pick Compel.
I would definitely like to pick. Okay.
I enjoy I just enjoy everything about it. Just sounds great. Just to be able to force a nearby ghost to obey a command, and just the the amount of spectacle that might end up causing sometimes, but just to be able to reach out and to compel someone to compel a ghost nearby to do something is it kind of matches up with the character I'm going for.
Yeah, frighteners it up, man.
It's just the one, is that correct?
Just the one special ability to start. Yes.
Perfect. Yes. So again, compel. You can attune to the ghost field to force a nearby ghost to appear and obey a command you give it. You are not supernaturally terrified by a ghost you summon or compel, though your allies may be. Could be, yeah, pulling up. Oh, this was Old Man Jenkins. He's, sweet old man. Or I could be Paul.
Fuck, what is that?
Yeah, Jenkins is what everyone is terrified of. I was trying to make him like the sweet old.
No, the funny thing is that basically, yeah, it's still sweet old man Jenkins. Like, it's literally just a dude like in his 50s, like balding, but he's just there with his like overalls. Everyone else is just still fucking scared of it. It's sweet old man Jenkins. Hi,
old man Jenkins. I just need to have you, open that door over there. Oh, okay.
Howdy, everyone. Fuck.
Oh my.
Sweet old man Jenkins.
Yes, that is what I would like to go with.
Sounds good. So does that mean then, dwarf name pending? Does that mean that you are doing not to be trifled with, or is there another ability you'd rather do?
I just wanted clarification on that specifically. I think I'm going. It is a current fight between not to be trifled with and Savage. Those two both call to me. Savage, the special ability. When you unleash physical violence, it is especially frightening. When you command a frightened target, take +1 dice. Yeah, so I did that extra thing in command. You know what? I think I am going to switch it up. I think I am going to go with Savage instead.
Savage. Okay.
Savage.
Oh, sorry, did you have something else?
No, this is just shaping up to be quite a departure from any character I've played before, so
Cool.
I'm excited to try this.
Yeah. I'm digging these two. I'm excited to see what the capers get up to. So now we've got this section, which is now you get to choose one close friend and one rival. So if you notice on your sheet, there should be also a section for that. I believe they give some recommendations there. So if you see there where it says dangerous friends, so for you specifically, dwarf name pending, it says Marlene, a pugilist. Now again, we can roll up the name if we'd like. I don't think we'll go super specific with anything else beyond that until I talk to you all about who is Marlene, if we're doing Marlene. But you notice where it says a plus arrow and a down arrow. So basically that signifies plus arrow, friend, down arrow, enemy. So who would like to designate a friend and foe first?
I'm still rolling through this list. There's a lot. I I almost want to be like, yeah, I have a vampire friend, but um, I won't do that to throw a wrench in it.
I wouldn't really throw a wrench into anything. I mean, as I said before, so wait, does the Whisper have vampire as a friend?
Yes.
I
um,
mean, think of it this way.
Yeah.
Like we did establish that this is a vampiric nation. There is the vampiric court. I mean, you could have one vampiric noble meeting you for their weekly fortune telling. I mean, not to lead you in any particular way. I'm just saying, if you want a vampire as a friend, I will not stop you on that.
Looking for friends in all the wrong places.
yeah, but I am still looking through my list. As the names I'm sure are they're placeholders for now. They're good. We could always roll for them as well. But should I list out the friends that I have available to me?
If you want, you certainly can.
Right, as it looks like that I do have the options between a possessor ghost, a vampire, a demon, a witch, or a spirit trafficker. Which what is a spirit trafficker?
So that's probably something established with Doskvol's lore, which I'm not saying I'm gonna, basically custom OC steal, but I will potentially look at I will look at it to see what would be a good analogy for that, or we could just say spirit trafficker.
Immediately the first thing that I was thinking of was the first one, a possessor ghost.
Old Man Jenkins?
Not Old Man Jenkins. No, no, Old Man Jenkins just lives nearby. It was either a possessor ghost or a witch, both of which probably have seen under the cloak and know who I am. So know my
Okay.
know my visage. And I would like to ask about the possessor ghost in and of itself. Is this ghost something that lives already inside somebody, or only appears? I'd like to know how the ghost works, more or less. Like, is it like an apartment? Does it live with me? In me?
Part of me is almost thinking it's going back to Buddy a little bit, right?
Right.
For context, for our home game, Buddy was a beholder that was able to take possession of certain individuals to communicate with Collin's character. Let me see while I'm looking. I might look that up here quick because it might be that there's actually a specific
Would I
clarification.
play a
Yeah.
flute to summon it, as my character did?
Yeah. It's one of those situations where I kind of regret we're not playing Duskfall, but at the same time, like I like us just building into our world, our own lore, and everything like that. Because, again, like I said, this is there's so much in here. Does not really say. It just says ghosts, really. A spirit without a body, craving life essence and vengeance on its earthly enemies, composed of semi-solid electroplasmic vapor. Suffers limited harm from physical attacks, but is vulnerable to electricity and arcane powers. Possessed. Oh, there we go. A living body containing 2 or more spirits. So, kind of like Buddy, especially when we got to
Yeah, I know where you're heading.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think having a possessor ghost as a friend could lead for some advantageous happenings, possibly.
Do you want to
Yeah,
roll for the name or?
sure.
So give me the D100, please.
D100 has been rolled. 56.
Just Noose.
Noose.
Do you what? This is your decision. I mean, I love it, kind of like Cher. Just Noose.
Noose.
Hmm.
Really leaves you hanging.
I'll go. Okay, we'll go with it.
Do you want? Sorry,
Yeah.
I brought it up because I was like, I like it, but this is you. This is your character, your friend, etc.
The name of the it's kind of similar to it's what is it? Charis, like Karen, but Karis.
Oh, okay.
Like the similar to the boatman, but not really. You know, the
One second.
Sharon. Okay, sure. What is that? How do you pronounce that name? Charo. Yep.
Karen?
Yeah, is it Karen? Like the
I've heard Charon or Karen. I'm not entirely sure.
right.
Google
Because
it.
I did a name generator for a ghost.
So what was the name of your friend Ghost?
Charis. Charis.
Karis. Karis. Okay, who's your
Yes.
enemy?
Enemy would be, you know what? Then we'll go with the witch,
Each.
because
Okay.
I feel like maybe the witch doesn't like what I do. Maybe I encroached somehow into the witch's territory when I kind of started doing similar strange things.
This is like a rival fortune teller situation where you're just across the street from
It's
each
like,
other.
oh,
Just
you're
like-
oh, see, I am a witch, but they're just creepy, you know.
just pretty strange.
Um,
Okay.
I like, or you know, if we want to just make it kind of crazy, I could also make it. There is a demon or a vampire that could be
That's an enemy.
that could be an enemy. What do you think?
That's you, man.
What do you think, Amanda?
Nope.
Oh,
Hey,
dang.
this is you
Mm-mm.
guys.
Me. This
This
is
is you
me.
guys.
Oh, this is
is
All you.
okay. All right. I like the fact that there is a witch as my enemy.
Okay.
Not necessarily tongue in cheek as like a rival fortune teller, but maybe somebody that somehow might have crossed. The name there is Quellen, but Qellen. I don't know how it's pronounced. I'd like to see if it's possible to roll for another.
Sure. So if you want to give me a D100 roll, and I can send you a name for this witch.
Okay, 28. And if you want a second choice, there is a second number.
Yeah, give me the second number. I want to see what this full name is.
76. Oh, I can't wait.
Let's go.
Goose Geesefoot.
Goose Geesefoot.
Wait, is
Really?
this the friend or the foe?
This is the enemy, Goose Geesefoot.
Oh, it's a foul here.
What is this? Is this just an actual goose?
That's the thing. It's not even a witch. Just you see like, the witch approaches.
It's like, it's the witch. Get thee away from me, witch.
Does it float in water?
It's like, Wicker, that's a goose. No, it's the witch.
Everyone turns away and its eyes squint at you.
It's like, no, look at it, see. Goose Geesefoot is a little comedic.
Sure. I'm keeping that name for something though.
Yeah. I would like to give it another. I did roll 2 more if that's all right.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. First number 87.
Yeah.
Oh man.
This is really on the nose. Do you want to know it right now, or do you want the second name?
Second would be 61.
Wanda Claymore.
Well, yeah, you know, that is on the nose. Let's go with it.
So you've got your friend, your enemy. Next up then is dwarf name pending.
TBD.
That's the name. TBD.
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 TBD. Of the options for the cutter as friend or foe, we have a pugilist, a vicious thug, a cold killer, an extortionist, and a physicker, which I had to Google because I'm illiterate. That's a doctor, essentially.
Oh.
So I thought it would be fun that the doctor is the friend, just because they end up getting banged up so often, they have to go in for either sending people to the physician so they like the influx of money that they're getting for all the people having to be patched up, or just through being patched themselves. And then I think the enemy should be the cold killer, because I like to think this character that's that's coming forward seems one of passion, and a cold killer just seems to be against everything they stand for in a way. It's not
Cool.
about calculation, it's about what you feel in the moment. So,
You gotta give me some roles for these, or do you have names
Yeah.
already in place?
no, let's get some names going.
Okay, so Doctor first.
Doctor first. 62.
First name's Poe.
Why does that... Okay, check this dice here. Let's try again. 37.
Jaden.
Okay. 72.
Jaden Feymora.
Ooh, I actually like that a lot. I like that a lot. Okay. Hold on, writing it
Okay.
down.
Dr. Jaden Feymora.
Kind of a hunk. Wow.
Listen, I got first dibs.
Your cold killer.
The cold killer. Oh, dice went a little wild this time.
Goose.
Calm down.
Goosevik Gisfoot. I have much to say, dwarf.
66.
Cora.
Get some fun. 69.
Cora Excellente. Excellente.
Oh, the cold killer.
Well, the cold killer. Okay. Now, if we change the inflection on that a little bit, we get a femme fatale. A little
Cora
bit.
Excellent.
Or just leave it Excellente. But I can. Yeah, well, let me try for the last name one more time, just to see.
Because this is you. This is you. If you are not comfortable with the name, yeah, this is your thing.
94.
Cora Kiltarn.
Maybe third time's a charm. 70.
Cora Emo.
She could also be
For the
just.
cold killer. No.
She could also just be known only as Cora.
Hold, please, while I quick check what the name Cora means.
Quora.
Oh,
Pronouncing that
Cora.
Oh.
Cora. I think that's still Cora.
It means maiden. Okay.
Quora? Is it
Yeah.
Qua or Qua?
Quora.
Cora. I actually like just simply Cora, the maiden.
Sorry. I know this is minutia. Do you have an idea of what Cora looks like? Because I know you said the maiden. They're a cold killer. Do they just off the top of your head? I know this is random out of left field, but what would you think that they I probably shouldn't even ask because maybe Tim will design their appearance, but what's the first thing that you would immediately think of as this cold killer, just simply named Cora?
The first thoughts that were running through my head. So, portside town, sailors, maiden, killer of Johns who would hire her in the night, sort of thing. But I'm thinking something that looks unassuming, beautiful, but is icy. So I'm thinking Ice Queen, essentially.
Okay.
But looks like she could be fun.
Got it. Okay.
We've got enemies. We have friends. Now your vice. So who would like to do your vice? So your vice is basically, it is a way of, each scoundrel is enthralled to some vice or another, where they indulge, which they use to indulge, deal with stress. So there is a list here, and then basically you describe it on the line with specific details of the name and location of this vice purveyor, as well as like how you have it. So for instance, if you have gambling, then you would write a dice game, and then you'd write the location of where you do your gambling, and then also you can create a vice purveyor, or ask me to tell you about a couple of likely options of where you can get your vice satisfied. So there are several vices here. You've got faith, gambling, luxury, obligation, pleasure, stupor, and weird. Yeah, because essentially it's a way of getting rid of stress. Because like we were talking about, for pushing yourself, that gives you a point of stress, and then this would be a way in your downtime to remove that stress, so you don't have as many negative effects for certain roles or actions in the future.
Are there different base explanations of, like, let's say if you said faith,
Yes.
what would be your typical vice with faith?
Sure. So with faith, you're dedicated to an unseen power, forgotten god. ancestor, what have you.
And then gambling, I guess self-explanatory.
Brave games of chance, betting on sporting events.
What is luxury?
Luxury, expensive or ostentatious displays of opulence. You like to have that drip, that riz, whatever the kids are using nowadays. I have no freaking clue.
You got it the first time. Drip is perfect.
Okay, well, what's riz then?
Riz is when you're like trying to, hey there,
Riz is
young.
like-
No, you
That's
got the.
not how you riz.
That's exactly how you riz. It's
Riz is
exactly how you do it.
charisma. That's your.
That was heavy charisma right there.
That was
it?
gargler charisma there. That's what that was.
God.
Hi there, So there you go.
Oh God.
So obligation.
Obligation. Your obligation. You're devoted to a family, a cause, an organization, a charity, etc.
Pleasure.
I should just read the rest of these because we're down to that.
Yeah.
Pleasure, gratification from lovers, food, drink, drugs, art, theater. Stupor, you seek oblivion in the abuse of drugs, drinking to excess, getting beaten to a pulp in the fighting rings, etc. And weird, you experiment with strange essences, consort with rogue spirits, and observe bizarre rituals or taboos.
There was something in obligation. Would you? Sorry to make.
You're devoted to a family, cause, organization, charity, etc. It's basically you're devoted to something.
That would be kind of a twist. That Wicker is just all in for like some orphanage, some charity, something like that. Something that's really out of character, kind of out of character, but like why do you support this? Because I do. Oh, okay, Wicker. All right. Because I feel like weird. If I go with weird, then
You're
full
going into like
full tilt.
You're going full into the playbook of it, basically. Right?
Yeah, it could be a nice way to kind of showcase the playbook, and I do like the sound of just like to relieve stress. I'm just talking with I'm getting into some weird like I'm making runes on the ground and like burning something to try to summon something and it relieves stress. It's very weird. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna full tilt into it. I'd like to go with my vices weird. If I'm gonna go whisper, I'm gonna go full on into this.
So okay, so what is your particular weird vice then? What do you do?
I try to. I find comfort in the company of spirits more so than the company of people sometimes. When I'm not commanding or compelling, I just want them to speak.
I do it. I like it.
Because, sometimes spirits just want to talk.
Let's see here, and I just want to make sure, because I don't think you need... Let me see. Choose a vice from the list, describe it on the list, and deals, and the name and location of your vice purveyor in the city. Okay, so let me look at that list here for... Okay, so there's a few general ones here, which is nice. So there is a general one that's just the hooded proprietor of a half-flooded grotto tavern near the docks, with strange passageways that lead to stranger chambers beyond. The rest are named individuals, which we could certainly roll for these, if you'd like. Or if you just want to go vague, the hooded purveyor.
I like the hooded purveyor. No, that they're kind of that's already kind of mysterious. I wonder if they just
It's a hooded club. It's just
they just nod to each other. Yes.
I don't know what you look like. You don't know what I look like. We're all good. Yes. Yeah.
We're good. We're good. I could be a goose. You could be a
goose. Could be a goose. Just all geese. This entire town is just geese and cloaks.
Geese and cloaks sounds like another tabletop RPG.
It really does.
Yeah, but all right, guys, welcome to Geese and Cloaks. You'll have 3 dice to start with.
Do you want this character to have a name right off the bat, or do you just want it to be that you don't know what their name or identity is?
I don't know their identity. I just know that they provide me a place to commune.
DVD, what's your vice?
Ooh, I think it's a toss-up at the moment between obligation and pleasure. I don't want to go full on like, dwarf drink, dwarf fighter drink.
I mean,
Dwarf fight or drink? Drink, fight, dwarf.
yeah, there we
Fight,
go.
dwarf, drink.
Or drink, drink, drink.
Drink,
Drink, drink, drink. Fight, fight, fight. Drink, drink, fight, dwarf.
Mix and match them how you like. It's gonna be a wild night. All right. You know what? Let's do it. Pleasure.
Pleasure. What?
What subclass? Okay.
What is your pleasure subclass?
What do you like? Okay. Let's go with food. Actually,
Food.
I think food. It's a
Okay.
man who likes his food.
One of life's greatest pleasures, right there.
Just food. So is it just all food, or is there a particular food that you're like, that is my thing to remove? That is like, that's what I need at the end of the day is a croissant.
It's a croissant. Drop my
What's the-
croissant.
the Docks, maybe some sushi. I
Oh.
don't think sushi exists in fantasy.
I mean, it can. It's a fantasy, right?
What a full plate
We can
of
have
gargoyles.
whatever we want here. Whatever we want, we can have. But no, seriously, if it's just food, I mean, again, this is your character idea. I like the idea of just a person that's a kind of a foodie, but then
Yeah.
eats the shit out of people.
I just imagine like he's like just kind of ties the neckerchief around. He's like, all right, bring the food. Yeah, I think just general food. Just
Food.
food.
Just needs to eat after a long day.
Yep.
Oh,
I like that.
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah,
I
same
know.
here. Fuck. Okay. All right. So here is the last bit here. Now, we have a lot of information that has been presented to us with this smuggler crew with Wicker. The last things that we will probably need before we end here. TBD, do you have a name?
That's what I was trying to determine in the background while other things were happening.
Okay. If you don't have it now, we can wait till we are actually playing when we guys are fully introducing yourselves again. So
Okay. Like, yes, I would like to wait. I will withhold the name. You know what? Screw it. No. Brody.
Brody.
Ooh,
Okay, Brody.
Brody. I have to get used to that. Just go.
B-R-O-D-Y.
Brodie. Brody. Don't you put a Y in it now. That's the accent. I'm going to have to work on that.
I like it. I like it.
All right. We come to the end here of this session 0 of some prep work. Thank everybody for tuning in for this session 0. We will technically have a little discussion right now. If you'd like, we can take a quick break. I mean, it's sessions. Although then again, it is session 0. Do we really need to discuss this, or do you guys want to discuss this?
Well,
Or just...
I kind of want to just give a shout out to Blades in the Dark. Their the playbooks, the notes, the rules overview, everything just I feel like I keep saying this about a lot of the new things that we experience, but this really does easily spark ideas for you if you are kind of just looking to create from use these as good jumping points. And I really like what I'm seeing so far, and this is just session 0. It's easy to understand. There's a lot of resources out there to help you understand, and I'm looking forward to kind of going more into the system already, just from what I've seen from the playbooks.
And I would say I am very curious of how this is all going to work. It's very different from some of the RPGs we've already indulged in.
Right.
It's clear that the lore and the setting are very thick and intertwined here, but we are bumbling through systems and not settings. So it'll be interesting to see how this transposes onto something we've already come up with. So I'm very curious, but just even the way that the character sheets are set up and the descriptions, it definitely sets a different tone than some of the other ones we've encountered.
Yeah, and I've been really excited to play Blades in the Dark, but also terrified because it is a brand new system. I have the most experience with D&D and a little bit with Pathfinder, but that's why I want to do this. And I repeat myself probably every podcast that we've been doing this, of just exploring these systems and exploring these together and figuring out some fun new games to play and new stories and everything like that, and it's just fun to do. I'm very, like I said, scared because it's a new system. So I keep repeating myself, but if you all bear with me as we kind of go through it, then I imagine we'll have a great time because I like what I've seen so far of how problems and solutions and opportunities are presented with the solutions. I really am curious because it looks like a blast. Because here's the thing. So John Harper says, as this is always used in every single podcast video describing Blades in the Dark. Play your characters like they are driving a stolen car.
Hmm.
So it gets wild, it gets intense, and it gets straight to the action. One thing I've noticed from the system is that one thing that most RPG systems fall into a trap with is, like, say if we were planning a heist in D&D, we could get bogged down in the minutia of, well, maybe we should go to this area, or maybe we should go this, or maybe we should approach it from being disguised or something. Literally, this system, Blades of Dark, is designed to be, well, here's the opportunity. It's dark. There is a building that you want to get something in that building. How do you want to get into the building? Well, I think we want to go through the sewers. Okay, you're at the sewer entrance. You're there. Like, that's it. That's just basically what it is. It's like you just decide really quickly, and then you just go straight to the action. You don't get bogged down too much with figuring out how to do it or what to do it. You just get to it, and I like that. So yeah, I'm very curious and excited. We hope you have enjoyed this session 0 of Blades in Dark leading into Sanguine Song. I'm really looking forward to this next arc. This is a fair, not warning, but more so just kind of the heads up. We'll probably be playing a little bit more than we did with Skate Wizards and the Plague Lands. This will be a little bit longer. Yeah, so if you are not following us on Instagram or any of the social sites, so on Instagram it's at Tables and Fables Pod. On Blue Sky it's tablesandfablespod.bsky.social. There is our official site for the podcast, which is www.tablesandfablepod.com. And of course our YouTube channel, which we will eventually be putting out some videos and some shorts on there as well, which is basically at Tables and Fables Pod. So yeah, subscribe, like, rate, share, all that razzmatazz that we have to do to appease the great algorithm. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody, and no matter what time it is for you, morning, evening, or night, I hope you're having a good time. Thanks, and we hope you will listen to us next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Be good.